Along with me as I show you what to do with those kenning lids and rings that you have so many of that are going rusty and you don't want to use them for kenning. We've got a little DIY advent calendar project for you. Stay tuned. We're going to have some fun. Have you ever wondered what you can do with all those canning lids that you have that are going rusty and you just want to throw away and there's no use for them? So you thought, here's one thing you can do. You can make an advent calendar. So what you're going to need is 24 of the rings, whether they be the wide mouth or the regular mouth. You're going to need something to mount it on, whether it be a piece of board, or what I'm going to use is, this is just a cardboard box, and I've just put a piece of plastic on it. You can put it wrapping paper on it or whatever you have, and I'm gonna arrange them in here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this tree sort of shape in here, but I will do something else, probably just maybe straight across and do something that way, and let's see what we get. So let's get started. My rings in my box, 24 of the regular mouth fit in here perfectly. So I have 24 and I've just arranged them in straight lines. And so what I'm going to do now is put the numbers on. See how I did this one? And it's basically just wrote the numbers on a piece of scrap paper that I had. Actually, this is a flyer from out of the paper. It's Christmassy, so I thought that would be nice. And then I just took the used, and I mean, you could use new or you can use used, the lid, and just covered it and put the ring over it to hold it into place. So let's do that, and then I'll show you what the next step is. Okay, so I just took some flyer paper. This is just the out of the paper, the flyers for whatever stores, a black marker, and then I just wrote the numbers on a cut down piece of paper. And all I'm doing is taking the used lids, and I have the rings here already laid out here, and I'm just taking the number, placing the ring behind it, the lid behind it, and snapping the ring right on like that. Easy peasy. So this is a great project for the kids to get involved in, and there's no risk of, hopefully, of injury. Well, with me, you never know. Just snap it in there, and it holds in, the paper holds in with the lid, so I should say with the ring, so you don't have to glue it or anything like that. You just snap it in, it holds tight, and just put it into place. So, number 18. And you can have something to use these otherwise rings and lids that you wouldn't normally use. And I mean, even if you use new ones, you can always reuse them because you're not gluing them, you're not taping them, you're not spraying them or anything like that. I mean, you could if you wanted to, especially with the old ones. If you're not going to use them, you know, you can use them, but I'm going to leave them like this, nice and rustic, because that's the way I want my advent calendar to look. So you, as I said, you can spray them whatever color to go with your decor to match whatever you're doing for the season. So I'm going to get this finished, and then I'm going to move on to the next step. I decided to do my numbers randomly instead of in order like I had planned to do first of all, because if you see here 10, 11, and 12, the designs, the way I wrote the numbers, are all kind of the same. So I want to try to mix that up and disperse that throughout, because that's like a pretty design for Christmas. And I just want to try to mix that throughout, see how these don't really have any discernible design other than writing on the back of them. So to disperse that and try to make the whole thing kind of look pretty, I'm going to just randomly do the numbers from 1 through 21. So I'm just going to kind of move things around here a little bit. And let's see, let's do this one here, move that up there. Move this just so the numbers are not right next to each other. 16, let's do that one over here. And that looks pretty good. So everything's kind of randomly around, and we're gonna move on to the next step. So just take the paper and crush it up and just put it into the box for now, and then we're gonna arrange it to where it will hold the top. So let's do that. And again, this is just from that same flyer paper that I found in the newspaper, or in my case was in my driveway for free. So why not use it? Maybe you have some paper that you're using for starting fires or whatever. Use that paper. Use whatever you have. Tissue paper, whatever you have. I found it a little bit difficult just to use the paper, so what I did was I got a couple of paper towel rolls, the empties, and I'm cutting them down to fit into my box. So I get 6 out of each roll, and I'm just gonna cut it down. It doesn't have to be exact or precise. Just cutting it down to fit into the box. I need 24 of them. And as soon as I get this done, I will show you what I'm doing to try and hold them into place. It's probably easier with more hands to do this, but I only have 2, unfortunately. So we'll see what this shall be in the next step. Okay, so I finally got this in. The hardest part of this was the paper in between. I mean, if I would have thought about it from the beginning, I probably would have just hot glued it down to the cardboard box. But it worked, and I put this rope in just to hold things together because I do want to hang it on the wall. So to go in, I have some little mini candy canes, and I'm just going to shove them in there. And I have a couple of little toys, this little bracelet. So I'm gonna put it in there, and I did some of the Hershey's chocolate chips, chocolate kisses, but I don't need any more in there. I've got enough in there. I already used the package up. So I'm just gonna fill the rest of the cavities with a little mini. And then I thought what would be nice would be to do like a little scavenger hunt, and just have little things to where they can go do like sort of like a hide and seek sort of thing. Just putting that in there, and this one in here, and then I'm just gonna put the tops on. And it's quite easy. They're loose, so they would be able to get in and out of them easily. And like I said, I want to hang it on the wall. I mean, you can always sit it on the table or something, and it would stay put. So, there you go. It is finished, finally. Like I said, the hardest part was the paper. Finished product with it up on the wall. This is not going to be the final resting place, but close enough. Just to show you what it might look like hanging up on the wall if you do it in a box like I did. Like I said, the most tedious part of this whole thing was getting that paper in there. And If I had to do this over again, if I do this again next year, I will be using a hot glue gun or some glue to glue those tubes down to the cardboard before I insert any paper or anything like that. The tubes were moving all over the place, and it was just a little bit of more work than I had anticipated, but it turned out pretty good, and you can get in and out of here easy enough without too much fuss, and turned out pretty good, I would say. So that's my little DIY project, using all those, well, not all of them, but some of those canning lids and rings that from canning, and they're going rusty, and I'm not going to reuse them again. So something to do with them instead of just throwing them away and filling a landfill somewhere. You can get some further use out of them. So thank you so much for watching, and you have a good day. Come along with me as I show you how to use some of those canning rings and jars. Along with me as I show you how